Hi. I'll wait for a few more people to come. Play some sound bath. Welcome to the new moon in Pisces, everyone. And if you're watching this, I know it's been chaotic. It's been necessary. Buckle in. We have a lot to get through. This world is in the throes of a revolutionary change. Now that we have entered into this Piscean episode, it's extremes of chaos, but it's also extremes of forgiveness. And I want to open up this channel for divine Christ consciousness to come through and offer the nuance of forgiveness in the face of chaotic change. I would also like to dedicate this particular light stream to anybody who's ever endured abuse, anybody who's ever endured domestic violence. There is so much that is unsaid in those realms that I've come to learn this last week. And there is a reality of programming and being programmed into the reality of abuse. Again, leading with consciousness of Christ. It's okay to forgive yourself for the programming. So again, if you are going through something where you feel like you've been programmed to be defined in a certain way, this is who I am. This is who I've always been. It's okay to now let that go and forgive that version of yourself. Serious energy. I am the messenger. Tonight I am bringing a message, and that's all I'm doing. Bringing harmony and balance. And we see this, how funny, we see this Christ figure holding duality in both hands, enlightened. Those who come to teach us patience. They come to teach us agony. They come to teach us waiting. They come to teach us many things in this life that we're living. So observing the programming and how you've been put into the ideology of who you are. This is who I am. And I just kind of said that, I know. But it's breaking that apart. Who am I becoming? And how did I get here? Is all part of the programming. I have a big heart. That's part of my programming. I'm very forgiving. That's part of my programming. Now I've arrived there because I was raised by people with big hearts. I was not shown forgiveness, so I am forgiving. And again, was raised to be forgiving. That's just who I am. Beautiful aspects of myself. But sometimes those aspects of yourself are very obvious, and they are very lucrative in the eyes of those who have come to see you as those things. They are very loving. They are very forgiving. They have a big heart. How can I exploit that? Yes. It's now time to re-examine the programming. From empathy to discernment. You need both. Just like this card tells us. And so, in the attempt of being all-loving, all-encompassing as Christ teaches, we also need to practice that discernment. And that discernment requires some shadow in order to stay observing what's happening in the light. And awareness is key when it comes to the shadow of those who are in our shadow, the people operating in the background, people that we have around us. This Pisces energy begs the question, who is closest to you and what are they doing there? So again, I wanted to open this up with forgive them if they've been around you just to take what they can. That's all that they know how to do. And they came to teach you that that is part of this life as well. I'm speaking out loud here. But again, the energy speaks for itself. Observe your programming. And if you are in contrast to loving and understanding, if you're not unforgiving, if you have a closed heart, there are those trying to find you as well, to teach you different, if you'd only be open. So, intuition unleashed for healing is happening. So it's not thinking right now. We are definitely in Pisces. Who thinks? Who does that? That's ghetto. Think, baby. I don't think. If you know what I'm talking about, you get it. But I'm gonna have to clip that in somewhere. I don't know. But intuition unleashed for healing is, I need to follow what feels good. The Pisces is two fish following each other endlessly. In that kind of sense, this feels good, so I'm going to follow suit. I'm going to follow suit, and whatever is not meant for me will fall off. So just right now, as we navigate these waters of Pisces in this new moon in Pisces, which I usually only do these on full moons, but it was very significant today that I hop on camera and kind of say what I had to say. That being what's happening in my own personal experience, in my own personal reality, just to further remove myself as the messenger. This is what I do. This is what brings me happiness. So finding spiritual support as well is going to be in the air this next few days. You'll find your spiritual community. And if you are watching this and you are in Las Vegas, I do these here every full moon and every new moon. You're more than welcome to be invited to these. All the information's on my website at sktvegas.carrd.co. So finding that spiritual support right now, and it can be as simple as, reading a Bible verse or two, just to give yourself that reconstitution of the I am. This is who I am. This is where I'm going, and it feels good. And if you need it, because right now we all need it, take the spiritual guidance, meditate on it, pray to your guides, pray to your gods, do the work to get that unseen into the mix. You have the ability. It's not something you learn. It's something that you just let happen. So we can, in this healing, begin to feel distant from the rest of the world that's happening. Again, with your spiritual support coming in, you'll feel closer to them. You'll feel closeness with those who are spiritually awaking with you, and you will feel contrast and distance from those who are not. I'm going to say that again. With those who are awakened spiritually and woke, you will feel a closeness to those individuals. And with those who are closed and still waiting to learn and awaken, you will feel a distance. Collaborate with this cosmic insight that you have now. Find the place in this world, among the people, to really build the vision. Because, oh baby, it's out there and up there, and you can now reach it. Oh baby, oh baby. Collaborate. This is the season. There's no better season. collaborate. Obsessive thoughts can also be in the air. So just make sure that you're obsessing over the right things. You know, who says obsession can't be used in a positive way? In that same vein, if you do find yourself in the very unhealthy throes of pursuing something, someone, somewhere endlessly, and it's to the detriment of either yourself or them, it's time to self-evaluate. That there's not much more to say about that. Self-evaluate and get back on the path. Mental challenges also come up this week. We are being not only pushed to our physical limit, but this mental like pressure to perform and execute or else is very high right now. So it's all the more important to find your community and find your safe spaces and really just integrate there. Because again, we're stronger together. I don't know if you guys saw Captain America New World, but that was kind of the whole movie. He just needed to see his daughter. We'll be doing a lot of emotional, intense recognition this week. This is how I'm feeling. It's kind of extreme, but here I am feeling it. Bravo to you. As a Capricorn speaking, that's hard. Really just being with how I'm feeling is hard. And this week it's been put on me to feel for the first time feelings that I have put to the side and said, I don't. This whole list of emotions, not necessary. You know, I've had my internal Elon telling me what's necessary and what's not for too long, I guess. But today it all backlogged, you know, today, and I was crying this week. I was so proud of myself this week. I was told that people are proud of me. Just this outpouring of support and love, and again, you know, in the face of everything that I've kind of told myself was okay, and it's just not okay. I'm just not okay. You know, I'm coming to terms with an entire programming that's lasted half a decade, longer. And so I would say that this very intense emotional recognition, it rings true in my experience. And I'm wondering if it rings true. I can almost guarantee it rings true. Again, be with how you're feeling. It's okay to be intense. It's okay to pop off finally. It's okay to get in somebody's face and say, no, you're not going to disrespect me like that. You're not going to include me in this. You know, so just, again, being with yourself in that Christ consciousness, there's room and space to be forgiven for feeling that intensely and taking action equally as intense. Sorry. So you'll have a strong sense of will this week as well. And again, this is going to help you to navigate that emotional intensity. I have purpose. I know what I'm doing. So please move. Please let me just do what I need to do. And emotionally, you'll have the fortitude to back it up with not just logical, not just, well, can't you see this, and here's the flow chart. No, I feel this is right, and I feel this is where I'm going. So please excuse me. Again, it's all about intensity. It's very intense. So the partnership exploration this week as well. If we are the theme of the two fishes, who are we following? Who's following us? There's a love story being painted here. Right now, for me, it's the universe. And I'm very much in tune, and I'm very much in love with the unfolding of my reality this past week. And the universe really holding me and passing me along to the right opportunities, to the right crowds. And again, just listening and dreaming and listening and dreaming and taking action, observed action, has really just, I don't know, this has been, again, the past decade of culmination into this version of myself that I've waited for such a long time, that it requires a certain space to exist that I can't let be intruded or trampled upon any longer. I am just also feeling this selflessness this week, that I'm going to be there for those who need somebody to be there for them. Again, I've become awakened to a whole plethora of things that I was just letting slide. Not just this week, but even in the past. It's just been, oh, I can make boundaries. Isn't this refreshing? You know, and it goes all the way back to, God, it was like August of last year. That whole transition of leading up to. And I mean, transitions that began back in 2020, 2019, 2018, have really just started to fruit and blossom. Particularly, I had a plant that had 3 blossoms on it. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So really examine the partnerships this week. You'll also have some of that fleeting depression. So there's going to be a melancholy that follows all this ruthlessness and this intensity. And I don't want to say that it's part of ego. However, the depression is fleeting. Like, it's a world that you knew and that you inhabited and that you gave yourself to. I mean, we talk about the Pisces full moon. The tarot card that comes up is the 8 of Cups, I believe. And it's having built it all the way up, and you're like almost there. You're 1 cup away, but then you just lose all motivation. And you walk away because it's what is it for anymore? What is it for anymore? So just, again, be there with yourself in that moment and be sad, be depressed about that, because dang it, you almost did it, but not quite. Posted that song earlier by Brandy, almost does not count. Can't get to heaven halfway off the ground. It's real. It's realer than real. Dale Homeyfield over here at the light stream. So, again, you'll be feeling that fleeting depression. There's a war inside of us right now. There's an emotional, logical war. There's this heart full of love and this head full of war happening in all of us. We have the plan. We're ready to conquer, but we are also being conquered. We are also being, violated, as a planet. But it's stoking the fires of that inner war is so important, because in times of peace, you can become complacent. In times of peace, you can become what? Fat. Did you just call me fat? In times of peace, we don't have... There's a beautiful story that I'm reminded of how when merchants would carry fish on the trails, the fish would, like when they would carry them inland, by the time they got to the markets, the fish were like, half dead, and they were like, there was like a blandness to them. But in order to kind of stop the fish from getting like that, by the time they got to inland markets, they introduced predators in with the fish. So they would put like a shark in there. So the fish would be like swimming around, avoiding the shark. There's activeness. So this space and time that is happening right now is our universal shark. And yeah, you better run for your life. You better keep swimming, or it's going to get you. I don't know if that makes sense. It's a crazy allegory. I get it, But right now the universe is saying, keep moving. Don't stop. Keep moving. Keep going. You're almost there. Keep going. Because there is something worth finishing coming your way. So again, this is all in respect to the logical, emotional war within. We will also have these rewarding experiences that are going to come as fruition from all of this tactical, hullabaloo. So just remember, there is a purpose. Find your purpose. This is why I'm working so hard. This is why I'm putting up with so much, or this is why I'm letting go of so much. Equivalent exchange. This Piscean energy has asked you to give the life for the life. And whatever the life that you were living did not meet the standards of the life that you are now welcoming in. Okay, so you needed to give that up. Stop chasing that. Stop building that. Eight of Cups energy. Stop building there. That's never going to be filling or fulfilling. You need to move along and start building this new life. Is where we're all at as a planet. So, authentic connections are going to also be built this week. Nobody's going to, again, those who are on this spiritually awakening path, we are only going to be getting closer and closer and closer as a community, as a tight-knit community. What better way to fend off the shark than as a group of fish seeming to be much bigger? Great allegory. Great allegory. So with that authentic connection building, allow yourself to feel the love, to not just eros, but feel logos. Fall in love with those around you and how they think. Fall in love with your ability to be in a crowded room of people that are actively working and thinking towards a common goal. And you love them for that. Love isn't always, it's always me and you and me. Love is community. It's all of us. Love is what gets you the rest of the way from half up off the ground. So get yourself there and build your bridges, those rainbow bridges to those other communities, the rainbow bridge between the mind and the heart. That is the saving grace to this endless war that we've waged on ourselves between mind and heart. This is all part of our healing odyssey. The odyssey of the story that we've been telling ourselves in our dreams. I call it the calling. You've been called. Start walking. I'm reminded of my Uncle Simon. It's a quote from a movie. I think it's Jungle to Jungle with Tim Allen. Oh my God, I can't believe that you must take the stick. I would have to clip this and tag him in it. Because he knows the quote. I don't know the quote. It's like, you must take the stick and you must set fire to the stick. Oh God, it's gonna drive me batty, but this is our journey right now. We are essentially being tasked with building the bridge, the rainbow bridge between the mind and the heart, as a healing odyssey. We are finding the crew. I don't know if you're into D&D, but roll for initiative. Sorry. In all of this feeling and in this odyssey, it's all sincere. So it's sincere change that we are undergoing right now. It's a sincere community that we are building right now. This is not let's get together and it's going to be gangbusters. This is let's get together and change the paradigm. And it's going to be gangbusters. Sorry. Water is so important. Okay. It's time to also evoke confrontation of your emotions this week. Again, the intensity of it. There will come a time that you come off of that. When that adrenaline drops and you're no longer in your Hulk rage and you become Bruce Banner again, it's okay to look at yourself and not be disgusted. Like, I can't believe I went off like that, or I can't believe I said those things. evaluate why you said those things. Evaluate what the motivation was behind going Hulk. And then you'll find your answer, whether or not it was justified. But I will tell you this, as I've been told all week, it was the right thing to do at the time. Find your spiritual support this week. This will help you to integrate the duality between wisdoms, what you've been taught and what you are teaching yourself. Again, find that spiritual community, those that are woke. It's not going to be difficult in this week because we are so keenly attuned to where we are spiritually that we can only gravitate more into the lives of those that we deem spiritual or advisory or to that respect. You know, spiritual life coach here. Just to plug it at the perfect moment. So you'll find that, and then also you'll have to obscure your mind that this is what you're seeking. Again, those who are asleep in the matrix, you know, like that whole allegory, you are not going to get anywhere by parading these nuances of divine spiritual connection and seeking that out at, you know, your way to the bank. Don't have that conversation with anyone and everyone. Actually, like, it's actually the people that are currently in your lives that will give you the most contrast to that energy and be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Actually, you sound kind of crazy. And straight face to them, you do sound crazy. So find the people who are like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. No brainer. I'm a no-brainer, and I seek out other no-brainers. So integrate that dual wisdom from building the bridge between mind and heart, that rainbow bridge. You'll also be obscuring your mind. We just went over that. Deceptive emotions as well is in the air. So just, there's snakes in the grass. Yes, we know that they're there. Haters will always be hating. What can I say? So people will be inauthentically, oh, that's so interesting. And then behind your back being like, I can't believe what they're doing, is the energy that I'm talking about. I want you to be just extra careful with those that you allow around yourself. And again, fall back onto, am I feeling distant from them? Because that's your filter right now. If you feel space being created, that's the universe saying this is not for you. And the contrast that you give the universe leads to what? Suffering. If that's where you want to be, baby, then keep swimming against the tide. So there's nothing more to really say about that. So feeling sentimental. There's nothing more to say about that. Oh yeah, feel sentimental. Do that too, though. So good. And this will help you to fight feeling lonely. So we are connecting so deeply and profoundly through our emotions right now. It's really, the truth is this is how we're communicating right now. How do we feel? How do you feel? And are you letting that feeling lead you right now? Because it's very important to know that it's important to let feeling and intuition be your guide sometimes. You can't trust numbers and logic to do all the math. And I know, Katy Perry, right? Math is science. So I want you to just let go of the fact that you don't know and that you are in the knowing of how you feel, and share that, and let that again be what? A bridge, a rainbow bridge, because your feelings are a huge spectrum. I'm not just talking about trust your feelings in what feels just good. Also trust your feelings on what gives you contrast and makes you ick. And then like, I need to get out of here. Like that kind of, the feelings there too. So this is all just, going to be pervading over the next week. I will be posting this elsewhere, and tagging a few people and sharing it to a couple of you individually that do I do send these too. So that's the Piscean new moon vibe that we're going through right now. On the tarot card front, I actually started with the first one, the Messenger. I was going to do this huge, like, 9-card spread, but I decided against it, and I'm glad that I did, because we don't need all that, y'all. Thank you, Kara. Ariel Kara. I think that's my cousin Ariel. Hi, cousin Ariel. All right, so this Seeker card. She has her protection, and she has her lamp. And in the darkness of the night, she's has all the light source she needs. Again, this speaks to her discernment. The light is her intuition, and the sword is her logic. Instead of using these two against one another, she's using them in tandem, so she can further understand the depths of her own self and not fear it. Lastly, this card, the Hierophant. All the wisdom in the world. And as he gives his sermon, does it still have meaning if nobody's listening? It's a question we can all ask ourselves. As we tell our story, is it any more or less valid if we're the only ones who know the truth? And the Hierophant is Taurusian energy. Won't you just listen to me? Won't you just hear me out? So this is the ego right now. The ego wants its say. So if this is our heart trying to work with the mind, the ego is still saying, but won't you hear me out? Won't you know why we're at war? Can I tell you why I'm fighting the tide? And it will have its time. It will have its time. But the Messenger says, bring harmony between these two. And that's what the Seeker does. The Seeker has taken logic and emotion, and utilizes them to move forward in the dark of the night, like to make it to her next destination. I love you too, cousin. There's so much to be thankful for today. There's so much going on in my life right now. Like I said, there's just this overwhelming awareness of a few things. There's an overwhelming awareness of this community that has kind of behind the scenes become its own community here out of this space, 6877 West Charleston in Las Vegas, where I've been part of the same team for over a decade, going on 15 years, that there's community that we've all built as a collective has begun to collaborate in a way that is kind of extraordinary. Not that the collaboration wasn't there before, it's just now that it's just so much more, I will say. It's so much more a community than it's ever been. It's so much more a loving circle of people. And not people in love, but people for love. And for, abundance and wellness. And what does that look like? What does that feel like? We're a collective of that pursuit of wellness and abundance. And that is just overwhelmingly and like humblingly just amazing to just kind of be in that. And this is my life every day. I get to be here offering abundance and wellness. Our wellness and abundance is just such a blessing. Where these two kind of are juxtaposed one another. This one's trying to find the way, and this one's trying to find someone to listen. The Christ light within says to each of these, forgive the other. Because there's space for both of you. We may not all be on the same page. We may not be all on the same team, but there's space for all of us. And that has never been more truthful, again, as a planet. So trust that divine guidance right now on this dark night. I want you to pray, light your incense. I want you to write. I want you to really just empty your mind and listen to the thoughts that pervade. Because never more have you been such a receiver for those messages. All right. I'm going to go ahead and close it out there. I love you guys so much. And I just want to say that I am available for spiritual life coaching. You can reach out to me, and we can get that started. It's an alignment course that kind of brings you out of the life that you are going through and into a life where you are truly living. And I've just helped to tend the garden of those who have chosen me to facilitate that. And it's beautiful seeing them blossom. Beautiful seeing all of us blossom. All right. You guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, we're live. Yeah, we ready, Rocket?
Yeah, live, yeah.
Okay,
Sorry,
I'll
Roz.
put this on you. There's your drink. I'm getting my everything correct. We need to.
Say hello to everyone.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Whoever's
Look
tuning
who it
in.
is. It's Reggie, out of the jungle and live from the Gold Coast,
Right.
as promised.
And me.
And
And
Rosie,
Rosie.
oh, and me, I'm behind the scenes here.
Right,
just
Reggie,
little
oh,
me.
God.